Hey everybody, how you doing? Happy New Year. It's my first video of 2026. And this one's going to be a little bit different tonight. I'm not showing pickups. I've been thinking about this recently. Just a theme video. And I was thinking about Topps designs over the years. And as I think about this concept, I might extrapolate it out to other brands, other sports. I'll see how it goes. See how much traction I get from this. But taking a look at card designs, all right? If you've been in the hobby for a long time, you know pretty much the Topps designs, and you can probably just look at them and tell you what year, what year it is, right? Just by looking at the card. You don't have to look at the back of the card. You say, oh yeah, it's a 1975 Topps. That's a 1987 Topps. Yeah, I think we're all pretty good with that. But if you really look at the design of the cards closely, and I tend to do that, I look at cards very intently. It's just part of how I enjoy the hobby, seeing little things on them, little idiosyncrasies, action of the game. What I was thinking is, how many times has Topps used an element of baseball in their designs, an element of the game of baseball in their Topps designs for baseball? Now, they've made 75 designs since 1951. And now some people will say 51 really wasn't a set, it was a game. But I'm including the 51s. That's how it goes. It's my video. I'll do what I want. They're important. They're the first Topps issue. So we're going to use them. So I'm going to go through, and we're going to do it together. We're going to go through the cards together. I have a representation of every Topps design right in front of me, and we're going to look at them. And we're going to see, and I'm going to actually write down, I have a little tally sheet right here. I'm going to write down what element they use on the card. All right, so the first card is a 1951 Topps card, okay? And we all know the little minis that they came out with. They get a red back and a blue back. This is a red back. And right off the top, we can see that they use a ball and a diamond on this design, okay? A ball and a diamond on the design. And the back, really, the whole field, right? So I'll just say we're gonna chalk this one up to ball and diamond. I'm gonna make little marks on my my little card here. So remember, 75 designs, 75 different designs. So we got ball and we got diamond on one design. Now we get the 52 Topps. And from what I can see, there is no baseball design element in that design. Yes, there's a baseball in the Orioles logo, but that doesn't count. All right, that doesn't count. So there's no element of baseball in this design. Very cool design. Kind of call we'll call this one the movie theater marquee design, because that kind of looks like a movie theater marquee right there. But no design of baseball in that. Then we're going to go to the 53s. And as I can see, and I'm really talking about the fronts of the cards. I'm not going to talk about the backs of the cards. I'm talking about the fronts. Because the backs, this one does have a but I'm just doing the front design of the cards. So this one here, the 53 Topps, there is no aspect of baseball on the 53 design. So we're going to see the 54. Here's a cool Bobby Shantz. What a really awesome set this is. I love the orange background on that. Again, I'm not seeing any aspect of the game of baseball used in the design of the card. So keep moving, guys. We're going to keep moving. We have 75 cards to look at. And then, let's see, 55 Topps. Again, nothing. Zero. No design elements of baseball on that card. And I'm not saying these designs are bad designs or great designs, but I just like, those little things to see, hey, how many times has Topps taken advantage of that? The beautiful, one of my favorite all times, and I think most people love this set, the 56 Topps. Just great stuff there. Again, No design, no element of design on that card from the game of baseball. So we're going to keep moving. We're going to keep moving. 57. Well, I mean, guys, yeah, I mean, really, there's not much going on there design-wise. Topps decided to really peel it back in 57 after the 56 design. They peeled it way back in 57, kept it very simple. So, no design on that one. 58. Nothing. Nothing. Nada. 59. Now, this one's a little interesting. Now, I'm not sure if I read this somewhere, but the 59 design, while it doesn't have any element of baseball in the design, I think I read somewhere where somebody had said in an article, I think it was in one of the baseball card magazines, I don't know which one, but that this was like a knothole in a fence or like in the outfield wall, and a kid would look through the knothole, just watch the game, and that's like kind of like doing that. So technically, it's not a element of the game. And again, I'm not 100% sure if that theory is correct. But I like that theory. I think it's a great theory. I think it's cool because, back then and, that kind of happened, right? So, but we're not going to count this in that aspect of baseball, all right? All right, so we're chugging along here. We're going to now go into the 1960 set. So Topps did what? They did 55, 56, and 60 were all horizontal. So nothing there either. No aspect of the game or the field or anything. The 61s, yep, not much going on there either design-wise. Again, they kind of made it really simple. They went kind of crazy in this 60 design, and then 61 they kind of brought it back in. So I guess, they have to, like, every other year, they have to like, rein it in a little bit. Now, the 62 is interesting. Again, no element of baseball in that design, but the curled up photo of the player kind of maybe like on the outside of back in the olden days when they would put posters on like maybe the outside wall of the stadium, or and the poster would start peeling away on the corner. Maybe that's where that came from. I think that's a cool design. I'm not a huge fan of the 62 set. It's a little too drab for me, but there are certain cards I really like in it. And I actually really dig this. I think that's a really cool, design of the 62 sets. I know where they're going with it, but it just, for me, for eye appeal, it doesn't do it for me like out of the box. But again, I'm not going to count that as an aspect of the game. So we're swinging and missing here, guys. 63, nada. 64, nada, nothing. But in 65, we have the use of a pennant. We have the use of a pennant in the design. And again, in my opinion, one of Topps' greatest designs ever. Just 65 Topps screams baseball card to me. If it was in Merriam-Webster's dictionary baseball card, this might be the design that said, was in the description. Just awesome. So I'm going to count that. So between 1951 and 1965, there's only been 2 designs that used an aspect of the game. So we're going to mark that down. We're going to mark it. Put it in the books. 1966, nothing. The great Don Mossy. Ha ha. Nothing. We're chugging away, and we got nothing. Now, the 67 set's a very nice set. Very clean. Love the way they use the names at the bottom, the team names at the bottom. Just big pictures or big photographs. very good use of the entire face of the card. You're going to see some stuff, the more modern stuff in the mid 2000s, where they made the border too much and it took away because the pictures kind of shrunk. But no aspect of baseball on that design. Nothing. 68, the old burlap design. Nothing. My birth year design. Nothing. Then the turn of the decade to 1970. Still nothing. Nothing. Again, one of my all-time faves. And again, the Black Beauties, the 71 Topps. Great design. Fantastic. But they didn't do anything in terms of using an aspect of the game or a design element of the game in there. But those 71s are just amazing. 72, the psychedelic set. Also kind of like, I don't know, call it the tombstone set, because it almost looks like a tombstone or a headstone set. I got more like a headstone. Doesn't that look like a headstone to you? That'd be a cool headstone to have. I like that on my headstone. But yeah, again, no aspect of the game on that one. Topps ain't thinking. They ain't thinking, man. 73. Still nothing. 74. You got the flags, but really, I don't consider those pennants. No. Not like the 65s. So nothing. I'm not going to go with that. But the 1975 Topps, finally, they used a baseball on the front of their card design. The baseball on the front. There we go. Since 1951, only 3 set designs have had elements of baseball in them. 1951, 1965, and 1975. So we're going to put that here. Ball. All right. 1976. 1976. Again, the 71s, the 75s, the 76s. Just great designs in the 70s. Awesome with the little cartoon or shadow, I don't know what you'd call it, silhouette cartoon of the player there. They kind of took the 73 design and made it better. That's very cool, but again, no aspect of the game there. Nothing. 77. Let's give 77. We kind of got a pennant. I don't know. It's a pennant. I will say that's a pennant. So we're gonna give that a big old thumbs up in the design using baseball. All right, so pennant. We keep going, guys. I remember getting those 77s as a kid and the 78s. Man, those are cool. So there we go. Ball. We got a ball. Sighting of a ball. Right there. Right where the position marker is in a baseball. So we're going to mark that. So 3 designs now have had balls on them. That sounds kind of off, doesn't it? Well, I don't post these videos for kids anyway, so 79. Hey, there we go. 79. Got a ball. The old Topps logo, the classic Topps logo that I think they only used for like 1 year on the cards. They only used that in 1979 on the cards. So we got another element of the game. So ball. So that's the 4th design that's using a ball. 1980. Yes. Pennants. I'm going to call those pennants. It's a little loosey-goosey, but those are pennants to me. So I'm going to give it the old check mark under the pennant for the 1980 Topps. Pennant. 1981, the cap and the baseball. So the first time since 1951, they used two kind of design elements. They used part of the uniform and the ball in the design. So we're going to give that 2 marks. Ball, and I got to make one for hat. I think that's the only design Topps ever used a hat. Now, the 82 Topps is interesting because they use a design aspect from another damn sport in this one. This is a hockey stick set. They didn't even use a baseball design. They use a hockey design. And Topps had like 3 logos between 1979 and 1982. You can see here the logo changed again. It went from this like really plain one to the more stylized one there. 1980 didn't have the logo, and then 1979 had the little hook logo. So, but yeah, the hockey stick set, that 1982 set, I opened up a ton of those as a kid too. 82 Topps, woo, man, I opened up a ton of that. Now we're going to go back to 1983, and this is 20 years after the 1963 set. And Topps, if you notice, if you look at patterns, they did this after the 1963 set. They're kind of an homage to the picture of the player in the little circle at the bottom. So they've done that. And they've got that logo there, that same logo they use in 82. You'll see that logo now for a bit. But no design from baseball on that one. 84. Nothing. 85. We got nothing. Tony going to the flip down sunglasses. 86. We got nothing. 87, which is a 25-year homage to the 62 wooden set. We had the 87 wooden set. But again, nothing from baseball on there. 88. Nothing. 89. Zippo. 90. Zilch. 91. Settle. The last of the Mohicans right here. This was Topps' last, what I call classic set on cardboard stock. After this, they went to the more higher quality paper stock and put this to bed. So I always liked the 91 design. It's kind of plain, but just it was like, in the 40-year anniversary. They're going from 52 to this point, but hey, I always like the 91s, but no design elements from the game in that. And 92, again, nothing. Now you can see the card stock is much brighter on here. It's the white stock, not the cardboard stock. So, this is the first year we started seeing gold cards and the gold parallels. 93, very similar to 92. But the next one, I'm not even going to show you the card that's in the pile. I'm going to show you when I pull out of my binder, because this card has stuck with me ever since I saw it. And there's something really cool in this card. It's the 1994 George Brett, his final card. So yes, they use I call it the home plate design, because this right here, to me, signifies home plate. And I love it because George Brett is at home plate, and I think that's a great piece of photography. His last card showing him doing one of his best things is hitting. Looks like he got a hit. And I love the fact that the scoreboard up here kind of mirrors this right here. You want to talk about design awesomeness. I mean, that's just That's fantastic. That's one of my favorite cards. I love that card. So here we go. We have home plate on the design. So Topps pulls one out there and uses a baseball design element in their card design for 1994. Beautiful. Just a great card. Great, great card. Love it. This is the year after the strike, and they didn't make as much in 95. Some people hate the design. I think it's kind of cool. They did something a little different with that rough, not a rough cut, but whatever you call that design element around where the photograph is. It's kind of rough. Maybe the name could have been better executed in terms of being able to read it better. But I like this design. I thought it was kind of cool, something different. But yeah, no design of the game in that one. None. 0. 1996. Nothing. And Topps has been using that same logo since 1982. It hasn't really changed. Now it's just, foil. But no design elements from the game in that one. None in 97. None in 98. They went with gold back-to-back years. In fact, I think this is the first of maybe 5 years where Topps didn't do white borders. So the 98s had the gold. Again, no element of the game in the 98s or the 99s. Or the 2000s. They decided to go to the, silver borders or gray, however you would say. So we got, again, think about 1970 with the gray borders to 2000. We got 30 years. So they kind of do that in those years that end in 5s and 0s. And then in 2001, they decided to go green. Not one of my favorite Topps designs. In fact, it's at the bottom of my list. But the worst design's coming up. I never really liked that design too much. And these cards are just notoriously bricked. That, I guess, between 90... When they started getting glossy in 94. Between 94 and 2003, they really started going crazy with the bricking, especially if you had the complete sets. Let's see, 2002 Topps. Got a swish, but no, it's not a pennant. So, nope, no design element. And here we go, 2003, we got a design element. We got the diamond. Second diamond in the run up to that point. And then we got the 04. And we do not, they go back to not using anything from the game of baseball in the design. I wonder how many designs the graphic artists come up with before they decide on what they're going to go with. I always wondered that. And I wonder when the 2026 design is going to be released. 2005. Not a really favorite design of mine either. A lot going on here. I'm not digging the name on the top again, but there is no baseball game influence on that design. It's just kind of busy design. Not one of my favorites. But this next one I like. The 2006 I like. Kind of reminds me of the 1972 set. Very colorful. Kind of has that arch at the top like the 72s. Just a nice looking set. So the 06 Topps, we got nothing, guys. We got nothing. Nothing. And here's a harken back to the 1971 Black Beauties of 2007. Now, here's what I'm talking about when they started kind of going, and you'll see it the next design. I like the 2007 design, but I think they paid a little too much attention to the borders. They made the borders big and kind of shrink down the photographs a little bit. But there's no design element to the game on this one. And then a design I like a lot, the 2008. I love the way those bubbles at the top. But again, they put the logo in this little tab here, and it just encroaches on the photograph. I don't know. I just think they could have done a little bit better with that. Maybe too much border, Maybe they could have spread it out even a little bit. I'm not a graphic designer. I don't do that stuff. I'm not an artist. But again, we're not seeing any sort of design elements here for baseball. Just a cool, funky design, but no design element till we get to 2009 when we have home plate again. Here we have home plate. So, you got 2 designs so far in the entire run from 51 to 2009 where they use home plate. And we got to 2010. No game element in that. Cool design. I like this design. I think it's cool with the way they did the side here, the side borders with that, like a wave. It looks like a big wave. Kind of did the, between 2010 and 2013, they did a little bit of oceanic design elements. You'll see what I'm talking about. So, the 2010, no design element from baseball. 2011, nothing. Cool, clean design. You've seen now since 2008. They've gone back to white borders, so they're back to the white borders again. Nice design, the 2011, but whoa. Time out. I almost missed it. I thought it was just a circle, but it's a baseball in there. So we got to put it in reverse and go back a little bit. So yes, there is a design element of the game. They use a baseball in this design. Go figure, a baseball card using a baseball in the design. You don't see it that often in Topps. It's only the 6th time that we've seen it. 2012 Topps. Now, in 2010, we had the wave. In 2012, we had the surfboard. Doesn't that look like a surfboard? But again, no baseball game design element used in this feature. But in 2013, we do. So, remember I said oceanic theme. 2010 had the wave. 2012 had the surfboard. 2013 has what looks like a sea turtle. To me, that looks kind of like a sea turtle. But it is the game. It's the diamond. It's the home plate and the diamond. So they used a element on this design in 2013. So here we go. We're going to call it the diamond. We're going to call it because it kind of uses the whole thing. The diamond, baby. It's the 3rd design that used the diamond in its history in 2013 Topps. And 2014 Topps. They go back to using no elements from the game. Nothing. 2015. 2015 was one of my favorite, more favorite modern designs. I liked what they did with this. I call it the fingerprint set because it looks like a fingerprint in the bottom corner here. But don't mind the player. Don't mind the player. I always thought it was a cool photo with him, catching the pop-up. But I always liked the kind of dual border there, bleed, and just, I thought it was a very clean, so easy to read the names, no messing around with foil, trying to, make the names hard to read. So 2015, I thought it was a really cool set. But again, here is no design element from the game. Here's a fingerprint. It looks like a fingerprint right there, if you look at it closely. 2016. 2016 and 2017 are very similar. This is like the night the fog rolled in design, because a lot of fog on these. I don't know. All these games are played in the fog that year, I guess, in 2015 when they took these pictures. Again, no design element from the game. Kind of it's a full bleed. They went away from borders here, as you can see. The next couple of years they did. So the 16s. The 17s, very similar to the 16s, but no fog. Again, no design elements from baseball. Just some angles and what have you. 2018, we got the water slide design and the pixelation here. Very computer-looking design, like computer-generated. Again, no borders. That's what, the third year in a row, 16, 17, 18, third year in a row, no borders. No design element of the game. That's the year of the Ohtani rookie, right? 2019. We kind of get a feel from 1982 here with that kind of, not a hockey stick, but that, side, one-sided kind of border here with the little curve at the bottom. But again, we don't see any design aspect from the game on this one. 2019, 2020, again, more angles and, very, to me, computer designed. Not bad, but nothing to write home about. Again, we got full bleed again until 2021. Yes, Topps brought back the white border in 2021, but they probably made their worst design ever in 2021, especially for us old folk. This, to me, and if you look at 2021 Donruss, they look almost exactly the same with these dumb, angle lines and stuff. Just horrible. You can't read the player name. It's really difficult. Just not a good design to me. I just do not like that. That's my most hated Topps design ever. Ever. I do not like that design. But, it's part of the run, and it's what they made. So, again, we're not seeing any baseball design elements here. Just a lot of lines and angles and just weird stuff that, 2022, they kind of redeemed a little bit. Much better on the eyes. But they are using a baseball in this design right there. We got the baseball. So we can chalk that one up. Baseball. We're almost done here, guys. We're almost done. And 2023, nothing. Oh! Sorry. Right there it is. Right there. The positions are in a home plate. So home plate. We got 3 designs in the history using home plate in the design. And then we got the 2024. And they went back to the diamond in this one. They went back to the diamond. Right there. You can see the diamond. And 2025, kind of a reversed 1982. Got the swish on the side. And again, they're using the diamond on that one, and they're showing the position of the player with a little highlighted red dot. So, back-to-back years. Back-to-back years, guys. They used an element of the game. So, for 75 different designs, Topps has used a baseball 7 times in their design. They've used a pennant 3 times in their design. They've used home plate 3 times in their design. They've used the diamond 5 times in their design. And they used a hat 1 time in their design. They've never used a bat in their design. They've never used a bat, which is interesting. So, that's all I got, guys. Just thought it was something a little different tonight. Just kind of, wanted to just come on, make a video. I felt like making a video, but I didn't want to just show cards and pickups tonight. I don't really have much pickups. Actually, I really don't have much coming in the next week or so. I haven't really bought much since Christmas. I've been kind of taking a little breather. I need a well-needed breather. The wallet needs a little break. So yeah, that's it. That's it. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. Little different for me. And I'll see how this does if I decide to do football one day or another brand. You know, who knows? I don't know. This stuff just comes, you know, and I do it. So everybody have a great evening. Have a great weekend. And may the cardboard God shine down upon each and every one of you. And always, always show your cards. Show your cards, guys. Come on. Come on. And that's it. This card's going to take us out tonight because I talk so much stuff about it and how awesome it is. So you guys take care of yourselves. So see you on the next video. Bye-bye.